Hey guys, good morning. It is Wednesday, May 1st. Can't even believe it. I'm back here at Lowe's, getting ready to fork over some doughs. Basically what I'm here for today, besides achieving a higher level of sticker shock, is to get supplies to build a fruit cage for our blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, and raspberries. We did have what we called our little berry barn. I don't know why we called it that. It was made of PVC with all sorts of elbows and connecting joints, and we had some plastic bird netting on there. And the birds just kept finding their way in, and the net kept tearing, and it was just a nightmare. And then the storm collapsed the whole entire thing, and the PVC just shattered from the ice and the cold, and then the weight of the snow this year. I'm having some allergies today. That the air is literally green. So we did some research and we came up with some new ideas to create an inexpensive structure to hang a net in almost like a circus fashion over the berries. We bought a new net that's on the way from Amazon, so we're waiting for that to come. But right now I'm going to go in and get the actual supports. We're going to see if this idea works. We're going to share this idea and process with you along the way. So let's go in and get those supplies. I'm also going to make a detour through the garden center. So again, so we can just sit and marinate in the sticker shock of the year. And listen, you guys, before I forget to mention, if you think the prices are expensive now, gas is getting ready to go up because of the summer blend. It may have hit in most places already. So with the rising costs of gas and the demands of salaries for people who work hard and actually deserve it, it's all getting handed down to us as consumers. So if we think that food and supplies for gardening is expensive now, I really, without fear mongering, I'm going to tell you to hold on to your purse strings even tighter because it's about to get crazy. So I'm going to get what I can now. We're going to wrap up our projects and call it a year. So as far as buying, and hopefully the bounty in the garden will offset some of our cost of living, because it really doesn't matter if you are, what level of income you have. It's going to impact everyone, even those who can afford it. But the truth is, should you afford it, when so many people cannot, and so many people are going to be hungry, literally. This is going to take some people who are in the middle class of classification down to what is considered low class, low income. Not to suggest that anyone is low class here. That is not what I'm trying to say. But, the income classes. So we have to protect our food. We have to protect our growing beds, and so that, we can grow smart. So anyway, enough of that yapping, you guys. Let's go head into Lowe's. I know you love going shopping here, so let's go. Here we go, guys. We're heading down to the electrical department at Lowe's. Miriam, if you're watching, I forgot my mic. So listen up, you guys. It's going to be a noisy day. All right, guys. I am here in electrical supplies, and this product here that I'm looking at, 3/4 inch EMT conduit. 10 feet is $9.98. Now, this is less expensive than buying a T-post, and you can cut it, whereas you can't cut a T-post. So I'm going to be buying a bunch of these 10-foot poles, and we're going to be driving them down into the ground, and we're going to be using these as a support. How I'm going to get it home, I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to work it out when I get into the car. But if you buy 20 or more, you save $1. Forever stopping to appease my seed addiction. Not that I actually need any, but you never know. So it's nice to just come through. There's some things I will never put chamomile seeds in the ground again. You guys, when you start growing chamomile, you'll realize you don't have to. It's highly invasive. And I'm realizing this year that so is snapdragon, so is zinnia, and cosmos. But so far, the snapdragon has been the absolute most aggressive volunteer from last year. And here I sowed like 2 more flats of it in the springtime, not realizing just how many volunteers I was going to have. So I'm going to be selecting my things more wisely, deadheading more efficiently and more often. And yeah, we have to make sure that we're not spending too much time cleaning volunteers out as weeds. A few other supplies I'm grabbing today is we need a splitter for our spigot, so we can, we're running new lines of hose, and even these prices went up. I could have sworn these were between $7 and maybe $10, maybe $11, but everything has just gone up so much. So if you're looking also for, you know, your hose supplies, your nozzles, here's how much you can expect to pay. And, you know, I did get a wand at Costco, but I'm going to be taking that wand back because it was just, I really just totally dislike it. I'll tell you why when I get home. Now, I just placed a second order for garden soil. These new beds are eating up much more soil than we thought. So I just want to show you the price of what's on sale for different soils, because when you add it up, even though the price of delivery has gone up to buy it in the cubic yard, you're just going to get so much more soil from a nursery than you would if you took your time to come out here, load all this up into your car, unload it, load it back up into its, you know, the site where you have to take it. So the bulk is definitely more affordable than buying it by the bag, and these bags got smaller, and you have to be careful with this stuff. Look, who wants to drag this home? This is just sad because the quality of what's been in the bags, it has just been terrible. So we're doing a mix of compost and topsoil to fill into our beds.
Hi. Hi. Who is it? Who is it? Who's that? Who is it?
Hey guys, yeah, so it's a different day now since I was just at Lowe's with you in the opening of this video, picking up the EMT electrical conduit pipe that we planned on using for our fruit cage. Now, since that time, I did pick it up. I did get it home. I actually didn't have to joust anybody on the road, which I thought I might have with those giant poles sticking out, but they're lightweight, and I got them home and I was able to maneuver them quite easily on my own, actually. So do I think the plan worked out for building a very quick pop-up fruit cage that is temporary or seasonal? I do. So I'm going to show you what we did. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you actually how we did it because it got assembled very rapidly when we realized that the grackles were devouring our fruit shrubs. So they're still devouring our strawberries, but we have so many strawberries, we have to cover them on a different level because of the way they ramble through the ground. But we did manage to cover our main fruit area, and I'm going to take you over and show you that now. Now, of course, before we get there, I have to show you some eye candy. So this, friends, is apricota. Apricota cosmos. Yes, I am forever talking about cosmos. This has to be one of the prettiest flowers, and it's not even open all the way yet, but what I love about it is this specific shade of pink with this orangey yellow striation through it. And yes, for anyone who noticed and made a comment, my nails do take a beating, but it's okay. It's all good. I am a gardener, so I am not worried about my fingernails. But anyway, you can see I have all of these other cosmos that are coming up, and I just can't wait to see, all of it. And these alliums, I almost expect a little fairy to be spinning around with her wings open around them. Just gorgeous. Okay, so off in the distance here, you can see what looks to be poles up in the air. Now, these poles are 3/4 inch electrical conduit that were $10 each for a $10 pole. Now, what I have on top of it is just basic terracotta pots, and I ran out, so I had to use some solo cups for now. The beauty of putting these pots on top is it allows the pipe to, or the net to hang over. So I have some adjustments I have to make. You can see I did string a cord to hold part of this up, and I'm going to get into some more details with you, but this cord slipped down, so I have to get up and adjust that. So I just lost my attention span for a moment because I have to make an adjustment. But it's okay, because right now this is all very easy. In a moment, I'm going to show you the actual net that we bought, and I'm going to talk to you about some more details. Continue going over. So I did not finish stringing the ends of this. I just needed to get an emergency net up because of what was happening with the birds. We have a huge migration of grackles. They teach their youngsters to hunt out here, and then after the grackles, it's the catbirds, and then after that, it's some really like feisty little sparrow that comes in. They get in here. Not only do they attack the berries on my blueberry bush, but I'm trying to get a view of you, they rip the flowers off. So we can't have that happening. So what we decided to do to protect our thornless blackberries, our late season raspberries, and our Duke blueberries from DeMayo Farm down in Hamilton, New Jersey, was erect an emergency net. Now, normally what we had here was what we called the berry barn. It was PVC, and we had some other pond netting over it that was made of plastic. It tore easy. The birds were able to get in easy. It seemed like no matter what we did, there was gaps in it. I had to sew it together. So we said, okay, we didn't want to build a big wooden structure. So it's like, what can we do to seasonally hang this net over it easy? Let the pipe be the pipe. And, you know, and this was the option we came up with. And ironically, it worked. It is not really finished, but it's doing its thing, and the birds are not getting in. So we drove the 10-foot PVC or EMT pieces down 2 feet into the ground. They're very rigid. They do stand up tall, and we like it that we have 8 feet of exposure. So we, you know, my mind, I thought I'm going to erect this net like a circus tent, just so it will go up and drape over and give us enough room to get in and move around, so we can harvest our berries. But then at the end of the season, we can just slide it down and fold it back up and put it back in its bag. Well, when we took it out of the net, out of the bag, you know, we didn't know what we were going to expect. We thought that it was going to be difficult to work with, but I'm going to try to get a little bit of a close-up for you. This net is actually silky soft. It was extraordinarily easy to work with. It's very lightweight, but you can see we did the smaller square compared to my finger. I'll show you. I think it's ½ inch. I don't know. I'm going to show you the bag in a second. But this keeps the small sparrows that come out and the finches. So we did 6 poles to hold it up, 2 in the middle and 1 on each corner. We probably could have done it a little bit differently, but again, we did this in haste. This was not meant to be any big engineering job. So you know, it does move around quite easily. It untangles very easily, like I can see here. The wind blew it. I don't know if you could just see that. It got attached to my blueberry bush, but I was able to just take it off easily, and it didn't destroy the blueberry bush. Now, the blackberries are about to ramble. I did have to trim them for this project. This particular net is 100 by, or is it 50 by 50? No, it's 50 by 50. I'm sorry, I don't have the bag in front of me. I'm going to get it now. I should have had that so I didn't sound like a moron. But anyway, you can get this in several sizes. So we got it from Amazon. It's easy to deal with to some extent, but it does take 2 people for one of these bigger nets. It comes with these lock ties, so you can tie it to your pole, and you can see that kind of keeps it in place. But we wanted to keep it loose because we thought that we were going to extend it over to the strawberry area, which we let run last year, which was a big mistake because the birds are devouring it. But we're going to have such a big strawberry harvest. I've already harvested so many. I'm going to have probably a year's worth in the freezer. So we have to somehow add an extra net over here, which will make it easier because I don't really want to mess with this structure. So what we did was we had 2 ladders, 1 on each end. I took an end, John took an end. We had the net fully extended, and we just kind of got it up over one area. And again, the pots just let the net slide over it. The regular plastic nets, everything catches and it tears and it becomes a nightmare. this silky net just slipped right over the pots, and we were able to get down, pick it up, get it from side to side. Then once we had full expanse, we were able to just grab it and slide it down, and we got it into full coverage. And it kind of puddles on the ground. So you can wrap this with PVC, or you can put anchors on it. It does come with ground anchors, so you can hold it in place once you figure out your final position. But again, we were working on it, and we were not ready. See how easy it just picks up, and it's so silky and smooth. I'm happy with this. Now the birds are trying to get into it. They keep flying into it, but I'm so happy that they're not getting tangled, because normally they get tangled. So let's go take a walk, and I want to show you the bags of everything that we use, because it's important that you know about this. All right, so I went into the garage and got the packaging for you. This is called Ogori, again on Amazon. Protective netting for fruit, vegetation, berries, and chickens. I would say it actually is good enough to use for a chicken coop. So again, this was net size of 50 by 50, 3/4 inch. Try to avoid getting anything bigger than 3/4 inches, you guys, because the little birds will get in. The mesh is super silky smooth. I know I said that before, but it's important that you know this is not your basic plastic deer bird netting stuff that you get in Lowe's. It does say it's made of durable nylon mesh, and it has UV inhibitors. Easy to use and put up. It is a little, you know, it's tricky because of the size, but I know that they have 25 by 25, and I'm pretty sure they have 100 by 100. So as long as you have your poles upright and you have support for it, you know, you can get this up quick and easy. And like I said, we're going to take it down for the season and put it back in its bag. So it came all wrapped up in this bag, and the ends of it were tied off in bright red, like a little tie-off area, so you would know where the end was. Came with a bunch of ground stakes and the lock ties I showed you. I have the rest of the lock ties in the house. Now, something I want you to look at also is, this is a cap I'm going to show you. You can see it says half inch. Now, the EMT that we bought is 10 feet by 3/4 inch diameter. Now, this is called a knockout seal. I don't know if we have an extra one in here, but this is a little cap that fits in, and you have to get half inch. Because when you go to Lowe's, it'll say that they have 3/4 inch caps for these EMT pipes, but they do not fit. This knockout seal, half inch, fits into the 3/4 inch pipe, and it caps it off so that the pipe does not fill with water. And if you're planning on leaving it out, so it doesn't get full of frozen water. And the funny thing is, bees also like to get in here and make little hives into those EMT pipes. So a cap like this really does help to keep it all sealed off. So unfortunately, we only bought the exact amount for the 6 poles, and I think they were around 49 cents a piece at Lowe's. But you know, you'll see that they have, like, it's just like a flat round top, and then it has like little pressure clips that come down from it, and it kind of fits into the pipe, and then you tap it in so it seals off. So you might want to just make sure that you have all of your parts ready if you're going to try to erect a net with the EMT pipe. And quite frankly, I feel like it's way better than PVC, because it's not going to get brittle like the PVC did. The PVC pieces were a big investment, and all of the elbows broke. The PVC snapped, not just from the cold, but from the heat. It really affected it, and it just doesn't have the rigid stability that the EMT has. The PVC would continue to bow, and we were always trying to support it, and it needed all kinds of sections and connectors, but the EMT is just up and rigid, and we were able to drive it down very, very easily into the soil. Now, like I said, we drove it down 2 feet. John did start a hole with a giant, it's like a landscape nail. It's like a 2-foot nail that we used. And depending on your soil, you may or may not need to make a starter hole. But you will need a pretty good mallet or a hammer or something blunt to drive it down with. Now, you'll want to put the cap in before you drive it down, and figure out something blunt that you'll be using to top off the pole and hit with your hammer, because as you strike it, if you have a heavy tool like a big mallet or whatever kind of hammer you're going to use, you can deform the tip of the EMT, which you don't want to do if you're going to cap it off. So remember, you're going to need some sort of a blunt object or something to sit on top of the pipe, so you'll be striking that cap that's going to drive down the pole. You might be able to use a T-post driver for something like that, but you can't ram it down too hard because, you know, the metal is strong, but it's not that strong. So use care, and this is just an FYI in case you're thinking of doing it, of what could happen if you go striking the EMT with some random object that's too heavy and bows it out. Then your caps won't fit and you'll be dealing with other issues. So also, like I said, be prepared that you're going to want to have some kind of a cup to sit over the tops of those poles, or some kind of contraption so that the net can lay on top of that. Again, it allows it to move easily and smooth for adjustability, and it keeps it off of the thin, you know, top of the pole. You want something a little bit wider so that the net can kind of grip on but still have ease in movement. So anyway, you guys, if you've been racking your brain trying to figure out a way to protect your fruit trees, or even your chickens, you know, like I said a moment ago, we did this specifically. We don't have chickens. I wouldn't mind having fresh eggs, but we're not there yet as suburban homesteaders. But we do enjoy our berry harvest. Now, this is a little bit of an investment. So like I said, add up $10 per pipe, 50 cents per cap, and then this net, I think it was around 50 some dollars. There's several vendors that offer it on Amazon, but I really, really, really like this product, and I highly recommend it because it was so smooth. Again, big and awkward because of the size of it, so be prepared for that. But this is probably, I've handled many nets in my life because we have a fish pond. This is by far the nicest and easiest net I've ever handled. It's working beautifully. No birds are tangled in it. And the best news of all is our berries are going to be safe from the birds and, you know, what else could possibly devour them. So if you were trying to think of a way to erect some sort of a quick berry cage or a fruit cage in your garden, this is a good idea to consider. If you have any questions, because I know it was difficult that I didn't show you how we drove the pipe down and what the caps actually look like. Again, it was off the cuff. Please ask questions. We will get back to everyone on this, and I wanted to make sure this got to you now because it's prime season here in our area anyway for summer berries. So give it some thought, check it out, click on the link below. It will take you directly to this product, and we can also link the pipe and the caps on Lowe's for you, so you can be prepared for those item numbers if you go shopping in the store. Anyway, I hope this helped you guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. And as always, we certainly hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.